Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Redmen TV and your latest episode of Oppo Preview. My name is Dan Clubb. I'm delighted to be joined by Reedy from Leicester Fan TV for this one. Reedy, how you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for the invite, mate. Can't wait for it. And after the bad few games for us, so can't wait for an absolute smashing on Boxing Day. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no comment. Yeah, let's talk about obviously the Leicester perspective, as you alluded to there. The weekends. I mean, yeah, the weekends. Where'd you start, really? I guess, but. The new manager bounce in inverted commas for those not watching a little under Van Nistelrooy, of course, but yeah, that result of the weekend's properly disappointing, I imagine, and really sort of taken the shine off any hope that there was that you might have a new dawn under the new manager.
Yeah, the first two games against West Ham and Brighton were kind of shining lights on what we've been missing with Steve Cooper. But then going to Newcastle, getting battered 4-0, losing our keeper in the process, I'm having to use our backup keeper, and then obviously again going against Wolves and getting basically smashed as well there with our second goalkeeper as well. Like I say, we've been very fortunate to have one of the best keepers one of the best keepers in the league on stats form, because he's had to do a lot. But yeah, when we lose someone like Mads Hermansen, it kind of shows. And I'm not putting all the blame to Danny Ward, but there's just been a lot of defensive errors. There's not been any creativity at times. So yeah, the momentum and the kind of the bright light of Brood coming in was good for a bit, but now with two games on the bounce, getting battered 7-0 in total, it just isn't great. And then obviously now we've got the likes of we've got Man City and then Villa in a row now. It could be bad, but hopefully Ruud can sort it out.
Yeah, it's daunting, isn't it? I wanted to ask you really, obviously, you are one of the few clubs, one of the handful of clubs that have changed manager mid-season thus far. Wolves, of course, being the one that you face at the weekend. But in terms of the sort of shift in style from Steve Cooper's Leicester to Van Nistelrooy's Leicester, what are the early signs? What have you noticed in particular?
So the first two games, I could tell you they're a completely different style of formation. He kind of plays with a 4-4-2 when we're defending, and then he goes to like a kind of 3-5-2 or 3-2-4, 3-2-4-1 or however that is, in the attack. But yeah, it worked well in the first two games. Obviously, we got the win and the draw, but the last two games, I I don't really see an identity there anymore. I don't know if it's because the teams are better than us or the teams that we're playing against has worked us out. But yeah, in the first two games, there was definitely an identity difference compared to Cooper because I don't think our Cooper had that identity into him. I don't think he had that technical ability in him. But we saw that with Rude in the first two games, but we've just not seen it in the last two. But maybe the teams that we played have just been outplayed us on the tactical side. So coming into this Liverpool game now with on a slot, he could have us on a set. He could have us on a set like a chess. He could
Yeah,
easily
like
beat us.
Yeah, like I say, particularly daunting, I think, for Leicester right now, especially given what happened over the weekend in terms of us obviously free scoring and you free conceding, if you like. Injuries, you alluded to them earlier on, mate. There's one key area in particular. Obviously, Ndidi, I think, is still a big miss, but Danny Ward's in goal, someone we're familiar with, of
Mm.
course, from Liverpool point of view. Yeah, he's been around for a long time at Leicester. He's been back up at a long time at Leicester. But how desperate are you to get your number one choice back in there, basically?
It's night and day, mate. As much as I don't ever want to slate a certain player for being bad, but the difference in quality of Mads Hermansen and Danny Ward is light and day difference. Like he can save some of the saves that not like you wouldn't have thought anyone would save. Like that's the difference, and it might be the case of we could have lost a lot more games this season if it wasn't for Mads Hermansen. So it's a bit hard to know that we have to rely on a keeper like him. But when you do lose him and you have somebody like Danny Ward in, the difference in level you can see is just nowhere near. So yeah, hopefully he's back. Hopefully he's back for Liverpool. He was in contention for the Wolves game, but he obviously just wasn't there in time. But hopefully he's back for Liverpool to even instead of making it 5-0, it might be a 2-0. So just to stop us getting battered, I guess.
Okay, okay. In terms of the key players for Leicester, then, I mean, I wrote down here in the agenda, it feels as though, and you'll correct me, you've seen a hell of a lot more than I have. I've only seen glimpses, handfuls of Leicester this season. Still feels like it's Jamie Vardy to me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We have had an injury as well with our right winger Fatawu. He was a
Mm.
very very good player last year in the Championship. Coming up, he's done bits and pieces this year that's kind of got us a win. We beat Southampton 3-2 after him coming on when we were 2-0 down. So yeah, but we've lost him to an ACL. He probably would have been one of the people I would have named if he was fit, but. Yeah, Jamie Vardy, he's still doing it at 37. He's not stopping anytime soon. But I'm just weary now that the last two games he's not scored. But it's about the creating the balls to him. Um, and I think we have got the talent to do that. It's just at the moment we just don't we just lack a lot of creativity. So Rude just needs to get that out of them. But again, needs to be tactically set up right for them to get them balls through. So yeah, if
Yeah.
it is Vardy, yeah.
Yeah, Vardy on the counter is always a danger, isn't he? We've experienced that all too well, firsthand a few times. So yeah, that especially, and this sort of lends itself to my next question, really, in terms of how Leicester approach this game. I mean, have you seen enough of Van Nistelrooy's Leicester to say 100% certainty he's going to go to Anfield and he's going to do this? Because, as you said earlier on, we're playing well right now. Leicester maybe aren't. Confidence maybe hit from the weekend. Can he come and just put 10 men behind the ball and allow Jamie Vardy to run free behind? What do you expect?
See, this is a difficult one because I don't ever think he'd go far at the back, ball, like brick on the walls and just make sure we don't concede. But like he said on the first press conference he came in, he said that he's not a romantic manager. He wants the results
Mm.
over the performance. So if anything, I think he will sit deep. He will make sure that we look solid at the back, which is going to be hard at the moment. But it's more the case of not letting the goals in, and then when we can break, you do it well, and be clinical about it because that's what we did against West Ham. We had 31 shots against West Ham, for them to us, and we beat them 3-1. So we just need to make sure we're tight to the back, and then when we get the chance to break, that's what we're going to do because we've been looking more of a counter-attacking team now since Rude's come in than playing a bit more possession-based football. But yeah.
Interested, yeah. I mean, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? We've seen countless teams come to Anfield down the years and do that. So yeah, it wouldn't shock me whatsoever. Hopefully, there's no Christmas spirit knocking around there from the Liverpool point of view. We just put you to the sword anyway. But that takes us to our final question. I think you've already hinted at it, mate. But prediction, what are you saying?
See, head is a head or heart because realistically, head says it could be an absolute awful day for us. And it could be like a 4 or 5 nil. But I will say, if Mads Hermansen is in goal for this game, there's every chance we can get a draw. That's how I said last week on one of our shows that depending on if it was Danny Ward or Mads Hermansen, we would win or lose this the Wolves game. But Danny Ward was in goal, we lost it. So if Mads Hermansen's in, I'm giving us a bit of hope and saying we're going to get a draw out of this. As much as it's going to be hard, but yeah.
Hey, no, you do you, mate. I must admit, when you were talking, sort of build up to there, thinking, oh, you're just going to sort of lower the number of goals that you might get beat by, but you went for the draw, you went all in, so that's
You've
fine.
got to be
Don't,
positive,
yeah,
mate.
of course you
Again,
are.
that other year, I can't remember what year it was when we beat you 1-0 at home. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
it was brilliant. So
Oh yeah, is what's his face scored, didn't he? Fellas at
Lookman, yeah,
Atalanta now. Yeah, I was looking at him. I remember we missed a pen, didn't we? I think Salah
yes.
missed a pen. Anyway, don't talk about the bad times. Yeah, really top man. Thanks for joining us. Let people know where they can find your channel because you have previews and all that stuff, buddy.
Yeah, we do all the shows for previews, match reviews, tactics talks as well for the team predictions coming up to the new game. Yeah, all that can be found on Leicester Fan TV on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and obviously YouTube. So yeah, appreciate you
Top.
inviting me.
No, no, my pleasure. Top man once again. Massively appreciated. Everybody else, I'll see and speak to you all very soon. But if I don't, have a good Christmas. Take it easy.